Alexa, what's the weather today? With 5 innocent words, you just fed the $230 billion monster. While you're reading this, Google has processed 280,000 searches, Facebook has harvested 4 million likes, and Amazon has recorded 120,000 purchases. That was just in the last 7 seconds, but it's what they're doing with this data that should terrify you. They know more about you than your own mother. A teddy bear company recorded 2 million conversations between parents and children, then left them exposed online for anyone to access. Facebook's internal documents revealed they can identify the exact moment teens feel worthless or insecure, then target ads at them during these vulnerable states. Amazon employees listen to random Alexa recordings, including your bedroom conversations and shower singing, then share the amusing ones with coworkers. Think about that for a moment. Your most intimate moments aren't just being watched. They're being monetized, packaged, and sold to the highest bidder, creating the most valuable commodity on Earth. You. Big tech's data harvest. Every click you make, every word you speak, every face you show, it's no longer yours, and you handed it over with a smile. How the internet became a surveillance machine. Don't be evil. That was Google's famous corporate motto when it launched in 1998. Back then, the internet promised connection, knowledge, and democratization. How did we get from that utopian vision to a world where your toothbrush reports your brushing habits to insurance companies? The transformation wasn't accidental, it was calculated. The pivotal moment, the dot-com crash of 2000, the evolution of digital predation. 2000 to 2001, the dot-com bubble bursts. Tech companies scramble for new business models. Google launches AdWords, connecting user searches to targeted ads. 2004 to 2006, Facebook launches, initially promising it's free and always will be. The unstated part? You're not the customer, you're the product. 2007 to 2010, smartphones put always-on tracking devices in everyone's pockets. Location data becomes the new gold rush. Facebook's original pitch to advertisers, revealed in leaked documents from 2004, was chillingly direct. We have profile information you can't get anywhere else. This wasn't just a business pivot, it was the birth of an entirely new economic model that Harvard professor Shoshana Zuboff calls surveillance capitalism, a system where human experience is the free raw material for commercial practices. The numbers tell the story. Google's ad revenue grew from $70 million in 2001 to $209 billion in 2022. Facebook's average revenue per user in the US-Canada reached $65.98 in 2022. Data broker industry revenues grew from $11 billion in 2019 to over $250 billion by 2023. The tech executive's defense is always the same. We're giving users what they want. But did anyone actually ask for 24/7 surveillance? Did anyone read the 30,000-word terms of service before clicking, I agree? If your digital life is being monitored, analyzed, and monetized around the clock, who's getting rich? And how deep does this system go? The answer is more disturbing than you might think. What they know. In the time it took you to read this sentence, you just created enough data to fill an entire book about yourself. By the end of today, humanity will have generated 2.5 quintillion bytes of data, a number so massive it's meaningless without context. If printed in standard text, it would create a stack of paper reaching from Earth to the moon 280 times. But the true horror isn't the volume, it's the intimacy. These aren't just random numbers. They're the digital breadcrumbs of your life, meticulously collected, analyzed, and weaponized against you. Want to know what your data reveals? Prepare to be disturbed. Julian Angwin, author of Dragnet Nation, conducted an experiment to see exactly what Google knew about her. She downloaded her Google data file and discovered every search she'd ever made, including late-night health concerns, every location she'd visited, accurate to within a few feet, every YouTube video she'd watched, even the embarrassing ones, a complete voice profile from her Google Assistant interactions, detailed analysis of her political leanings, relationship status, and income level. I was expecting to find some level of tracking, Angwin said. What I wasn't prepared for was the sheer volume and granularity of it all. Building your shadow profile, a single website visit triggers an average of 34 data collection events. Your smartphone apps collect data every 4 minutes, even when not in use. Facebook maintains shadow profiles on people who have never even signed up for the service. Target's data analytics famously identified a teenage girl was pregnant before her father knew, based solely on subtle changes in her purchasing patterns. Even more disturbing is what happens when all this data is combined. In a groundbreaking 2013 study, researchers from Cambridge University found that with just 68 Facebook likes, they could predict skin color with 95% accuracy, sexual orientation, 88% accuracy, political affiliation, 85% accuracy, intelligence, religious views, alcohol, and drug use. The predictive models we generated could be used in ways that threaten individual autonomy and privacy. The researchers warned they had no idea how right they were. By 2018, the prediction algorithms had become powerful enough to predict what you'll do before you've decided to do it. As former Amazon chief scientist Andreas Weigand admits, they're not just tracking you, they're tracking who you're going to become. While you worry about the NSA, the real surveillance operation is happening in plain sight, and you're paying monthly subscription fees for the privilege. The microphone in your bedroom. Alexa, are you listening to me right now? You return to your private conversation, unaware that in that inactive moment, your question was still captured, processed, and stored. Welcome to the most intimate invasion you've invited into your home. The silent witnesses. Remember that couple who argued about flooring and saw flooring ads the next day? No coincidence. A Bloomberg investigation revealed thousands of Amazon employees listened to Alexa recordings, hearing everything from bedroom conversations to children sharing personal information, all to improve the product. When confronted in a 2019 Senate hearing, Amazon executives carefully stated, Echo devices are designed to detect only your chosen wake word. Notice what they didn't say, that they only record when that word is detected. A day in your smart life, 7 a.m. Your smart alarm transmits sleep patterns to multiple companies. 7:30 a.m. Your smart TV tracks not just what you watch, but how you react to it. 8 a.m. Your thermostat analyzes your movement patterns to determine when you're typically home alone. The most revealing fact? Former Amazon executive Robert Frederick admitted, I turn off my Alexa whenever I want to have a private moment. I don't want certain conversations recorded or monitored. The man who helped create the technology doesn't trust it in his own home. While we worry about government spying, we've willingly installed sophisticated listening devices in our most intimate spaces. Devices built by companies whose entire business model depends on collecting as much data as possible. Internal documents from a major voice assistant company revealed engineers developing technology that can detect if you're arguing with your spouse, if your children are doing homework, or if you're engaging in intimate activities. Why? To deliver contextually relevant experiences. Read perfectly timed ads. The intelligence community has a term for this, the golden age of surveillance. Not because their technology improved, but because we're voluntarily bugging our own homes. And when you step outside, the tracking only intensifies. Nowhere to hide. We only access your location while you're using the app. That's what they tell you. The reality is far more invasive. In 2018, the New York Times obtained a massive location data file tracking 12 million Americans through their phones. What they found was shocking. Phones tracked users every few seconds, creating detailed maps of daily movements. The data was precise enough to identify individuals, their homes, and workplaces. Data was collected and sold without meaningful consent. Princeton computer scientist Jonathan Mayer puts it bluntly, location data is some of the most sensitive data we have. It can tell you who someone's friends are, where they live, where they work, where they pray, and in America, those things are all constitutionally protected. The data doesn't just feed ads. Insurance companies use it to adjust your rates. Lenders use it to determine your creditworthiness. Employers use it to screen candidates. Most disturbing is how easily this data identifies you, despite promises of anonymization. A 2019 Nature Communications study found that 99.98% of Americans could be uniquely identified from just 15 location data points. And the surveillance doesn't stop with tracking where you go. It's also monitoring how you feel. Reading your mind. We help people connect and share. That's the promise. The reality? They're studying your emotions with the precision of a psychological experiment, without your knowledge or consent. What can they actually detect? More than you think. Your typing speed reveals anxiety levels. Scrolling patterns indicate depression. Facial expressions show product reactions. Voice pitch changes signal emotional states. Emotion recognition AI has exploded into a $43.3 billion market. If this system is so invasive, why hasn't it been regulated? The answer reveals perhaps the most disturbing aspect of all. When it comes to big tech regulation, there's a revolving door spinning so fast it creates its own gravitational field. In 2022 alone, tech giants spent $124 million lobbying the federal government, more than pharmaceuticals, oil, and banking combined. But the raw dollars don't reveal the full strategy. The real power comes from who they hire. The Silicon Valley Washington pipeline. The numbers tell a disturbing story. 530 former congressional staffers now work for big tech. 60% of Google's lobbying team previously worked in government. 22 FTC officials, the agency supposed to regulate tech, now work for the companies they once oversaw. This isn't coincidence, it's strategy. The conclusion is inescapable. This isn't a broken system. It's working exactly as designed, extracting maximum value from your digital existence while protecting the companies that profit from it. We've exposed just the surface of a system designed to extract your data, manipulate your behavior, and turn your digital existence into a commodity. But there's something we haven't told you yet. While researching this documentary, we discovered internal documents revealing the next phase of surveillance capitalism, a technology so invasive it makes current methods seem primitive by comparison. What are they hiding? Who's protecting them? And why is nobody talking about it? In part 2 of Big Tech's Data Harvest, we'll reveal the full scope of what's coming and the small group of insiders fighting to stop it before it's too late. Share your surveillance stories below and subscribe now for part 2, where we reveal what they're really building.